Yeah, I just sent Jeff the one that's from Melissa, but if you want to start,
So we
I can read the call.
Okay, Stella, please read the call.
She's in the call. That's gonna go on Stella. Notice of a public meeting of the City Commission of the City of Brownsville. Pursuant to Chapter 551, Title 5 of the Texas Government Code, the Texas Open Meetings Act, notice is hereby given that the City Commission of the City of Brownsville, Texas, in accordance with Article 5, Section 12 of the Charter of said city, will convene a workshop, an executive session, and a regular meeting on Tuesday, May 18th, 2010, at 5 p.m., 5:45 p.m., and 6 p.m. in the Commission Chambers on the second floor of the Brownsville City Hall Federal Building, located at 1001 East Elizabeth Street, Brownsville, Cameron County, Texas. Workshop item number, letter A, Project Citizen Projects by Stell Middle School students.
Can we have the students from Stell Middle School please come up? It's always a good time to see the Project Citizens Group come before the City Commission. So students, we really appreciate you coming by before the Commission, and we look forward to hearing and seeing your presentation. So again, welcome, and if y'all want to, whoever's the first one to come speak, you can stand by the podium.
Mr. Cabler, can you lower the mic for her, please?
Ready?
Thank you. Good afternoon. We are students at Stell Middle School, and our project is called You Talking to Me. The dilemma we're facing is people using handheld devices while driving. This action, seen all over the city, poses a risk to citizens and visitors of Brownsville. Our mayor tried to have a ban placed, but it was turned down by the city commission. Out of the 95 licensed drivers we surveyed, 92% thought that driving should be the main concern for anyone who drives a vehicle. When we also asked the question, do laws restricting the use of cell phones while driving violate the rights as a citizen, 67% said no. A few disadvantages to this policy will be that it will take citizens time to adapt to the policy, and it will take money to enforce the policy. The advantages to this policy will be that the roads will be safer for everyone now and later if the ban is in effect. Now here is Jessica with our alternative policy.
Thank you, Casey. We have many laws and ordinances in effect that are in relation to our proposed ban. House Bill 2730 and the House Bill 339 states that all drivers under 18 years of age can use a wireless device while driving a motor vehicle. A new ordinance in Austin forbids sending and receiving or viewing text messages of them while driving. House Bill 55 prohibits the use of a cell phone while driving when in a school crossing zone. Our survey shows that 20% of our citizens send or receive text messages of them while driving. People using their phones while driving is a deadly action, but our proposed bans can stop this legal act. Now here's our answer with the class policy.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jessica. After researching our alternative policies, we got together as a group to form our class policy. Our class policy is that Brownsville needs a law restricting the use of handheld device usage while in a vehicle. Currently, there is no law restricting cell phone usage in a vehicle, but most people favor a prohibition of handheld devices. Drivers feel no rights are being violated if a ban is to be set. Our belief is that restricting cell phone use while driving in the city will make everyone's life safer and easier. Taking away cell phone privileges in an automobile does not violate state or federal constitution. We surveyed 95 people in the community. 71% believe that drivers should use a hands-free device while driving. 81% support laws that restricting texting while driving, and 79% stated that laws that restrict cell phone usage while driving do not invade their rights to privacy. And all politics aside, we all think this is a serious issue that needs to be addressed, regardless of whom set it forth. On behalf of the Stell Middle School Project Citizen Program, I would like to thank you for your time.
Thank you, guys. I want to say that the issue is really, really important to the city. As you know, this is something we looked at a few months back, and it wasn't very successful. The state's done something, as you outlined in your presentation, which is a very, very positive thing. And I think it helps all school children and families each and every day that school's in session by having the ban around school zones. It's a sensitive issue, but it's one that I'm sure we can come back and look at it again and maybe, you know, and maybe do something a little bit more concrete with it. But I do appreciate you all taking the time to research, to study, and come and present before the commission. It says a lot about you individually. It says a lot about the students that are coming from Stell Middle School, which I was a former Warrior at Stell and my entire family, so I'm proud to see you guys here. And it's also refreshing to see the type of youth that we have in the school district. And there's no doubt in my mind that one day you guys will be extremely successful in some field, and if not, we might see you up here one day as well. So I appreciate you all making the presentation. And like I said, you know, let's be in communication. This shouldn't be the last time that we see you. Don't hesitate to call us or email us. I know I received an email from one of you in regards to meeting, and I believe Commissioner Zamora might have met with you all. But we're constantly trying to work hand in hand with the community to, again, address the needs that obviously you all see and you all know about. A year ago, our Parks Director, Chris Patterson, and I were out with Stell, and I don't know if you all were there, still part of the Project Citizen, but we met about some of the issues that were going on in Oliveda Park. And Chris did a great job of his presentation of what we needed to do, and more from my perspective was more policy down the road, again, long term, and how do we address those issues that obviously you all brought to us. So let's keep the door open, let's communicate. And again, I really, really do appreciate you all coming by and sharing this valuable information before all of us.
Commissioner Camarillo,
Yes.
if I may interject, I believe they do have one more presentation to do.
Great. Thank you. Go ahead.
Good afternoon. My name is Ana Galvan, and the name of our project is Ruby. Our problem is that some of the buses in the city do not have ramps or sidewalks. This makes it hard for disabled people to get on the bus. This same problem was found on the bus right across from our school. When students of Stell Middle School Life Skills Program go on trips, they take the city bus to help them learn about being independent. This is not possible for students in wheelchairs since they cannot even get on the bus canopy without assistance. They must go through uneven grass and sometimes muddy terrain. If people in wheelchairs ever need to use the bus, they will not be able to get under the canopy by themselves. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Can I say something quickly?
Go ahead, Commissioner.
A couple of years ago, the commission approved a board, a special needs board. So, and that should be coming out later this year. And hopefully the funds that this board will be able to use can address stuff like that. So save all your paperwork, because once this board starts up, then we're gonna be tackling projects like that. So, that's special needs Commissioner Zamora. So, yeah, just let you know that the city of Brownsville does take these projects serious, and the need to support our special needs people in Brownsville, we have to we're gonna have a board, and it's gonna address those issues, okay?
Commissioner Gowan?
Thank you so much for coming, kids, and you keep looking and directing our attention to those important things. I've driven by there a million times. I've never noticed that there was no ramp. So, I mean, that obviously is a very important issue. And I wasn't texting when I drove by. But you keep looking and telling us because we need your help.
Thank you. Commissioner Zamora?
I want to applaud you and your class, and especially your teacher, Mr. Liao, for your civic engagement, for being involved at such an early age, and I look forward to more presentations in the future. Did you guys already go to competition?
Yes.
How did you do? Did well? Well, congratulations, and I hope you have a wonderful summer.
Congratulations, guys. Keep up the good work, and be safe during your summer break. Only a couple of more weeks of school left, right?
Yes.
Well, enjoy it, okay? You'll have a safe summer. Don't hesitate to come back. Thank you, guys. Next item, Ms. Stella.
Item B is Midi Cultural District Activity Update.
Is anyone here from the Midi Cultural District?
Good afternoon, City Commissioners,
Good afternoon,
City
Marisa.
Manager, City Secretary. First of all, I'd like to thank you all for inviting me, Commissioner Zamora, for inviting me to come here again and give you an update on the Midi Cultural District. I'm sure most of you all are aware. I do have a PowerPoint presentation, and please know that the PowerPoint presentation is really for those, oh, good, thanks. Which one is it? This PowerPoint presentation was more for when we go out of our city, when we go to Austin, San Antonio, and hopefully the nation. So it's not really for us that we know what we already have. But at the same time, there is plenty of people here in Brownsville that don't realize that we have a Midi Cultural District and what a treasure it really is. In front of you, you should have a brochure, and you should have our mission statement and goals in there that you can review. If you look at your brochure, I'm just gonna go through the brochure real quick. You open it up and there's a map, and there's gonna tell you all the different entities, and you open it again, and it gives you pictures and a little bit of history of each organization. Okay? Vision of the Midi Cultural District. Of course, Roy F. Mitty and Joanne Cole for the Midi Cultural Foundation. We all know that they are ones that, through their vision, we were able to have such a beautiful park. The funding for the Dean Porter Park restoration was in 1998. Of course, surrounding area home to most of the city's cultural organizations. The Midi Cultural District was established, of course, in 1998. It spans between 6th and 7th Streets, area between the Expressway and Washington Park. Okay? Let me get my cheat notes here. The membership is built up of 5 City Commission appointees and over 15 members in our organization. We meet at noon the first Wednesday of every month. And I want to invite all of you to please attend. We do meet at the Gladys Porter Zoo, except for the summer months. During the summer, we usually pick a restaurant because most of our organizations have summer programs for children, so our facilities are pretty much booked. So we can let you know ahead of time. Okay. Our mission: to promote and enhance family-oriented historical, cultural, and educational activities within the Midi Cultural District. This is exactly what we try and do. Now, I'm going to go through it pretty quick, just so you all know. This is a presentation that we do outside of Brownsville. They don't know that our zoo is one of the top zoos in the United States. They don't know that we have more than 1,600 animals, over 26 acres of tropical plants. So this is what they get to see about Brownsville. The Midi Cultural District, they've been meeting for many, many years. But within the last 5 years, we've seen a different growth. We've seen where our museums and, of course, for example, other entities like the Farmers Market, Sombrero Festival, Amigos Artistas, other organizations, we have all started working together to promote this area. I've also worked with Bean Ayala, with the VCVB, where we've distributed many flyers of these brochures out into Texas. Okay, Tourist Texas, there was a lead that they got through Parade magazine, and we've been able to go through them. But this is what you can see, what they will be looking at. This is a PowerPoint presentation that is taken hopefully all over the country. I've started here locally by educating some of our Rotaries and Lions Clubs and other organizations as well that I've asked to present, or I've called myself. The Camille Playhouse. These are all organizations that are found between the 6th and 7th Street. we've also been working with the City Parks Department. I don't know if you've all heard what is in the makings for the fall. I'll let you continue to view some of these pictures. Y'all can ask me any questions, by the way, as I'm going. A little bit more, let me just give you a little bit more of a background. These organizations have worked cooperatively to promote the orderly growth and development of the district as a tourist, cultural, and education attraction. It is our goal to create an ambience through signage and attractive streetscapes so that when you enter the Midi Cultural District, you know you are in a very special part of Brownsville. The Midi Cultural District received a grant from the Brownsville Foundation for Health and Education for $17,500. With that grant, we were able to get 30 full-color banners, which some of you have seen between 6th and 7th Street. They're orange. They're hung between those 6th and 7th. And more than 12,000 color brochures, which you have in front of you. And we also have now a website that you all can log on to, which is www.midiculturaldistrict.org. Some of our future plans include a holiday Christmas village in 2010 in partnership with the City of Brownsville Parks and Recreation Department. This will be free to the public. It will be located in the Dean Porter Park area. We'll open the week of Thanksgiving and will close the first of the year. The committee project advisory team is made up of professional and energetic volunteers. We would like to have a workshop to present this to you, probably in the near future. And we invite you to spend a day or a weekend and experience, explore, and enjoy the Midi Cultural District. And that's pretty much my presentation. That's pretty much our update. And we look forward to working with the city, with just about any entity of the city to promote our area for tourism. And that's where we're headed. That's where we would like to go, more than anything, tourism. Any questions?
So we all doing a great job. Appreciate what Midi Cultural's been doing. It's obviously looking great out there, and the new sign with the flag posts and all that is just beautiful. It really enhances that part of town. So thank you and the members for all that you all are doing for the community, and please let us know how we can help. So keep up the great work.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
A little bit about Roy and Charles Committee. The ones that gave the money.
You want me to tell you more about them?
No, not a little bit.
Well, I don't know if the commission would allow me that. Okay, I have it here. Hold on. I can tell you, April 1999, the Cultural District again approached the City Commission to consider naming it Midi F. and Joanne Cole Midi Cultural District. Through the efforts of the Midis and the foundation, their mass generous gift of $3 million to the Dean Porter Park renovation and only created a nucleus from which our city would generate new growth and vitalization for many, many years to come. And they, of course, Roy Midi was originally from Brownsville. Okay. So that's pretty much what I have.
Thank you. Item C.
Item C, Valley AIDS Council and Youth Community Services update.
Good evening, Commissioners. Thank you for inviting me to be a part of this evening, especially Commissioner Zamora. I'm going to give you a little background. Valley AIDS Council actually was founded in 1980.
State your name first.
My name is Bob Smith, and I'm the Executive Director of Valley AIDS Council.
Thank you.
We were actually formed in 1987 as a Speakers Bureau for the impending issue of HIV and AIDS and the impact that it would have in the Rio Grande Valley. We had no employees, and we had no funding. By 1989, we actually had begun our first funding, and it began to serve patients in the Rio Grande Valley who had or were at risk for infection of HIV. By 1994, we actually had received funding through from Washington to open our first clinic. Then by 2004, we were asked by Washington to expand and to pick up the Corpus Christi area. So we then moved from a 4,000 square mile area to then a 12,000 square mile service delivery area. So we're now responsible for the coastal Bend area as well as the Rio Grande Valley. By 2008, we had continued to grow. We'd opened our first clinic in Brownsville. We have a one-day-a-week clinic here. Our offices were located over on 12th Street under the Hotel Economico, and is now located at 857 Washington Street. In addition, we have opened the Corpus facility in 2004, and we're preparing to open a McAllen medical facility this year. But that's the history. What I'm here to tell you about, and we're very, very excited, in collaboration with the City of Brownsville, the Brownsville Independent School District, the Brownsville Health and Education Foundation, if I said that right. If not, forgive me. United Way of Southern Cameron County, the Substance Abuse Task Force. We're pleased to have opened a substance abuse treatment facility in what is now located, it's now the old Boys and Girls Club. The space has been donated by the City of Brownsville, and we are delivering substance abuse treatment to the young men and young women of Brownsville, Texas. We have already received our United Way of Southern Cameron County allocation, and we are pending receipt of funding perhaps through CDBG. That application is pending. We are also planning on enrolling a new project in the fall. It's YPI, which is a prevention program for substance abuse. So it's youth who are at risk, but yet not already substance abuse addicted, can be enrolled, and we can work with them and their at-risk behaviors to hopefully never see them as a substance abuse patient, and hopefully never see them as an HIV positive patient as well. So we're very excited about being here. We're very excited about this new opportunity. In February of this year, the board actually expanded our mission statement to include substance abuse treatment in addition to HIV services. In fact, we have a board member with us tonight. We have Mr. Sal Martinez. Sal is one of our new board members, and I wish to extend my gratitude to Mr. Charlie Kabler for his role in working with the city and the school district and all the powers that be to actually make this come to be. Do you have any questions regarding us or our new endeavors?
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
If a 16-year-old, let's say, comes to your facility because they've had a problem with drug addiction, can you give us an idea of what you do for that young person? In other words, is it mostly social service or counseling, or what is it that that person would be able to have?
Wonderful question, and thank you for bringing that to my mind. This is actually licensed substance abuse treatment, and it's an ambulatory fashion. What we will be doing is we'll be providing individual therapy as well as family therapy and group therapy, but we don't feel like that's enough to stop right there. One of the treats of being in the facility that we're in is we're going to have access to a lot of resources that will allow for physical exercise and socialization. One of the things that the Brownsville Health Foundation, I know I'm messing this up, but is it BFHE? Well, either way, one of the things we got was we got a Wii system. So even until the gym is finished, we can go ahead and have activities on site. So really, we're looking at how do we socialize better, what kind of individual, group, and family therapy can we provide these young people. And we've hired our LCDC for Brownsville. It starts next week.
Wonderful.
Great.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Your referrals, where do you get your referrals from? Are you getting them from private organizations or from the courts, or how are you going to get, other than walk-in clientele from the center?
Well, BAC is keeping us quite occupied already. Lynn Black is a personal source of referral, but beyond that, we are receiving referrals from Judge Neese, and then the BISD, other counselors are providing those referrals. We are open to anyone. So if a doctor wants to make a referral, or if any source that wants to make a referral for substance abuse treatment, that's available. And then in the fall, the prevention program.
And the staffing at the center is going to be what?
Right now, we have 4 LCDCs that are employed by Valley AIDS Council. We have a case aide receptionist that her name is Sandy Bastista. She starts today. And then Claudia Ocampo starts next week. And then we have John Chapa, who is the coordinator. Chris Salinas, who can't be with us tonight, is the director of substance abuse services. And I too am an LCDC, and I'm the executive director of the agency.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, sir.
What makes this different from all the buildings?
The biggest difference is the licensed treatment. The state of Texas requires that if you're going to deliver treatment services, that you must be licensed by the state of Texas. And in addition, your staff who deliver the services must also be licensed. And that's the big difference, is that state recognition and licensure. If you don't have the state licensure, you cannot say that you provide treatment. You can say that you provide substance abuse services or support services, but you cannot provide treatment without that. And that's the big difference.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate those of you who are at the open house.
No,
Thank you.
Item D, discussion regarding the Brownsville Community Improvement Project funding recommendations for fiscal year 2010.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor, City Commission. This evening I'm here to present It's going to be a bit small for y'all to be able to view. Again, this is for fiscal year 2010, our projects. Again, the funding application, its guidelines were reviewed by the BCIC board. This is a process that the Brownsville Community Improvement Corporation goes through annually. The application was released in October of 2009. The applications were due December 1st of 2009. The board goes through the applications to review both the merit of the applications and also the reasonableness of the cost. Then they recommend applications for funding. At that point in time, it's required by law to go through a public hearing process. The board did hold a public hearing process on May 6th of 2010. Then applications are recommended to the City Commission for funding, and that's the process that we're in currently. The request amounted to $510,590.85. The project budget was for $100,000. The first application, the City of Brownsville submitted an application for the North Brownsville Kickball Complex. Again, the idea there was to try to eliminate the need for portables. Because of the urgency of trying to get that particular project done, what the City of Brownsville requested was for the application to be withdrawn and to have a contract amendment for another project they had in existence. The board did approve that and provided a contract amendment for $78,477, and that particular project is almost completed. Again, the photos are very hard to see under the black and white. The other application was Oliveda Park improvements. Some of the things that we are looking at doing is the basketball surface pads, goals and rims and lighting upgrade, and also doing the tennis surface pads and lighting upgrade. Again, it's to try to prevent further deterioration of the park, and $70,000 is being recommended for that project. The next project was the City of Brownsville Commemorative Air Force. It's to rehab the CAF RGV Museum. The benefit is to try to reinforce, prolong, and enhance the use as vintage aircraft and artifacts displayed and for the meeting use facility. Again, this has been in a series of phases. The first phase, $37,500, and the second phase, $45,000 was provided, and in this phase, $30,000 is being recommended. The building is a city building in which the Commemorative Air Force Museum is currently housed in. The next project is the Gladys Porter Zoo. It's a bridge surface restoration project. Again, they're trying to maintain the aesthetics to be able to continue to attract tourists. What's being recommended is $30,000, and the match that the Gladys Porter Zoo is providing is $22,406. What the photos showed was basically the deterioration of those walkways, and even to show the unevenness that has occurred in those walkways and the difficulty it provides for people who may have any kind of walking impediments. That is in essence the applications that BCIC did receive and the recommendations that the board is putting forth. Are there any questions?
Any questions, comments?
Stelina, based on, I have a question, Mayor. Based on what's been submitted, what does that total to, and what would be left over for funding?
As I mentioned earlier, the project budget was actually $100,000. As we discussed during the budgeting aspect, that the board did put money into contingency, and they did exceed that amount. If you look at the actual project total amounts, they're recommending $130,000, but that doesn't include the additional $78,477. So you're talking about $208,477 that they allocated toward projects.
Thank you.
Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, 5:45, so we gotta wait 5 minutes?
Yeah, for the executive session would be next.
Yeah, but we have, it says 5:45, do we have to wait the 5 minutes? We do?
Mark, do we have to wait
Do we have to
5
wait?
minutes? We do? Second.
Are we going to recess?
Got some spare time?
Yeah, the 5 minutes.
I just want to say that Roy and Charles Mitty, the ones that gave, how much, 1 million? What? $3 million. Those were classmates of mine. They were pretty sharp basketball players. They didn't play football, but they played basketball and other sports. So I'm glad that we have at least those Roy meetings that have a lot of money. I hope we have some more coming that have a lot of money. Do you know anybody else that have a lot of money? Those are the people that we want for Brownsville.
Well, Mr. Varela, would you like to follow in their footsteps, or?
Well, I could probably give $50 or something, but
We'll take it.
I'm very, you know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, we know.
But I'm glad we have those two young guys. Where are they? They live in Houston? I think one of them had an insurance company, Roy did. So I'm glad they didn't forget Brown.
That's right.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
Good to see you.
I don't know. She said she would mention it to him.
Item A,
Executive session, item A, discussion with legal counsel pursuant to section 551.072 of the Texas Government Code regarding pending litigation.
Mayor, I move that we go to executive session.
Second.
we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries.
Take too long, we're ready to go.
the notes up there, there's, the scout that did his Eagle project at the animal shelter that you were gonna recognize, the name's there. We have Llamas. And we have, 3 scouts to do the pledges of allegiance in Texas. One is an Eagle Scout, so they would be recognized there. And that's pretty much it. Am I that scary? I know. I have to stay away from Charlie or something will happen.
Stella wants to talk to you. Stella wants to talk to you.
Get after you. Why didn't you send us this project a couple of days in advance?
I don't know. I just got the picture.
You have an answer?
Wow. Not really. We need to get stuff in advance because that puts us in a spot. I mean, I think she's gonna be able to do it. I don't know. But we're gonna get stuff at least a day in advance.
Can the scouts come forward and do the pledge, please? Who's gonna lead us in the pledge? Please, right?
Please face the American flag. Let's get Salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Honor the
Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to Texas, one state, under God, one indivisible.
one and indivisible.
Thank you.
Never gets it
Pastor
right.
Bradford, will lead us in the invocation.
Let's remain standing to pray. Father God, we come to you to once again thank you for your grace, your mercy, and your love. Lord, I ask you to help each of us to understand what each other's going through. Lead and guide each member of this commission tonight. Help each of us to hear each other and respect what each other has to say. Lord, I ask that the outcome of this meeting in every way be that which is good for the city of Brownsville, good for the community, and good for your kingdom, Lord God. In the name of Jesus Christ we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much, Pastor. Okay, please be seated. Is the Scoutmaster Mark Blakemore here? He's not here? Okay, and the Eagle Scout left? Okay. We just saw this. Okay, we'll go into the mayor's report.
No,
Oh,
Mayor,
no,
we have
Executive
action.
session.
Item A.
Action on item discussed in executive session. Action on executive session item as advised by legal counsel in executive session.
Based on the discussion in the executive session, can I have a motion?
Motion.
Can I have a
Approve.
motion?
A motion.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Motion to approve based on the
Based on legal
recommendation,
counsel's
recommendation of legal
recommendation.
counsel? Okay. We have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Okay. Mayor's activity report, I'll be very brief. Cite the meetings and events. And going to Washington, I think it was very productive. Brownsville making its presence over there, looking for funds or raising awareness about the projects we have online and support we need from Washington. Also went to Victoria on the Weir project. Basically, that was my report here. Commissioner's report. Commissioner Zamora?
Yes, I wanted to congratulate Commissioner Gowen for her efforts and the city staff, all the participants for the Biggest Loser competition, and all the winners on a very successful program for the year. And I'm happy to hear that it's going to be an annual event. I had the fortunate opportunity to host my own Biggest Loser event at Veterans Parks, and I want to thank PAWS, the VFW, Baya Health Club, and the Navy Recruiting Office for being in attendance and supporting the event and participating. I'm also proud to say that PAWS did have an adoption take place at the event, so it's a very good thing, and we look forward to having them participate at future events. As far as city streets, we do have an update on a couple of streets in my district. One of them is Coffeeport. I know that some of you have been a little aggravated with some of the construction going on, but we're going to see some improvements here very soon in the next couple of months. We're working on storm sewer improvements as well. And as far as Old Port Isabel Road, which is a road that I share with Commissioner Atkinson, next month we'll be working on 802 to Winter Haven RV Park, and we're looking at the overlay to be completed. As far as the VFW, I wanted to announce that they will be having a fundraiser coming up on May 30th. They will be hosting a golf tournament at the, which golf course was it? The one at the university.
It's the Fort Brown.
Fort Brown, that's correct. And they're looking for participants, volunteers, and sponsors, so please keep them in mind. And they're also having a flag sale. They're selling flags for $2 a piece, so if you're interested, just stop by the VFW. They're located off of Price Road. And that completes my report.
Then we have Commissioner Charlie Atkinson.
I'd like to speak a little bit on the sports park. I was there this Saturday morning at 7:45 to meet Commissioner Rose Gowen. I'd like to thank her for getting me involved in this. I I did walk a mile, and I was able to. I was
really
a-
did. He
Excuse
really
me?
did.
I really did. I really did. I walked with Commissioner Gowan, but we were able to talk about the many things that we can do at the sports park as far as wellness, and I look forward to working with Commissioner Gowan on some of these projects that I think will help the youth of Brownsville and to start thinking a little healthier and to do more activities out there at the sports park. One of those events that we're having this next 6-7 weeks is the 7-on-7 flag football for BISD. Right now, we're really excited about all the kids that are going out there from BISD. We have over 400 kids showing up on Mondays and Thursdays to play flag football. And it's a way to keep them exercising, keep them out of harm's way by being elsewhere. Here, they're exercising, they're at the sports park. This Thursday, with the group of my boys over there, 2 Live crew over there, Gabe and the crew, we're gonna be out there interviewing the coaches and the kids and getting them excited about what they expect next year for high school football in Brownsville. You know, we gotta show support for our kids in Brownsville, and I'm a big advocate of that. So we'll be out there this Thursday. If nobody's doing anything, go out there. There's like 300-400 kids out there just pouring their hearts out to play 7-on-7 to get in shape and to learn the game of football. Our Beach Cove, we had a tournament this last Saturday. It was a successful tournament. I think it was it Saturday? No, the Saturday before. I'm sorry. And USA Junior Volleyball came down and hosted an event. We had a lot of people participate, a lot of females and males. And the winner of this sand volleyball tournament were eligible to go to the regional tournament in Daytona Beach. I can't tell you who won, but I know one team won, and it was a team from Hannah. It was my daughter's team, and I'm proud of my daughter, Lauren, and her teammate who went out there and participated, and they won, so they have a chance to go to Daytona, so we're gonna have to find some way to send her there. So I'd like to congratulate my daughter for showing up and winning that tournament for the junior volleyball, USA volleyball. The mayor advised everybody here that we went up to Washington. I'd like to talk a little bit about that. I was very humbled to represent the city of Brownsville in Washington, D.C. I think the Commissioner Gowan and the mayor, myself, and some city staff, we all went there with a purpose, and we all, I believe, had a great time advocating and lobbying for our projects in Brownsville. You know, we were united, and we reached out to many different congressmen and the senators, and they're starting to hear about Brownsville, and they want to help us. You know, one of the issues I have regarding the sports park is EOC is a emergency operational center. What this entails is a type of multi-use facility that can be used to house people that are stuck out during hurricanes. As you know, in Brownsville, since we have a lot of impoverished areas, if we learned anything from Louisiana, we learned that the Superdome was a place to house a lot of people that were in distress. So one of our efforts with my board, which is the Brownsville Community Improvement Center, we went to lobby on a multi-use facility center that will house a substation for police and an EOC, Emergency Operational Center, a command center, so where we can still provide services for people that are in need of our help during these type of situations with hurricanes or tornadoes or whatever natural disaster. So we lobbied for that, and I was really excited about that. Salomon Ortiz, actually, I met with him, and we all met with him, and he was really excited about this because this is a chance to you know, we talk about convention center, but this was a twist on it to where it could really help the community during a critical situation. So he was happy about that. He's looking forward to helping us find grants to support this emergency operational center for the city of Brownsville. So as far as that, that's it.
Thank you, Commissioner Atkinson.
Thank you. As the commissioners have stated, the Biggest Loser Challenge ended last weekend. I would like to thank the School of Public Health and the City of Brownsville Health Department for conceiving of the idea. There were many partners without which we would not have been able to make the 3-month program work, and that would certainly be Parks and Recreation Department, Channel 12, and all you folks, Jerry's staff over there that put up with our phone calls and and all of the tapings that they did and being at each event. Thank you very much. All of the entities of United Brownsville that participated on a particular Saturday, and as well my fellow commissioners, thank you very much. Now, and we will be doing, as Commissioner Zamora said, this is planned to be an annual event, so stay tuned for that. Now for the results, in Brownsville, we lost at 939 pounds. That's half a ton. Now that is the least that we lost. And the reason I say least is that there were many people that told us they were going to be out of town the final weekend, or that they had to work, so they couldn't come to the final weigh-in. We also know that several teams had members on them that were over the age of 55, so they couldn't technically compete, although they did lose weight. One in particular from the Port of Brownsville lost 50 pounds, although those 50 pounds didn't get officially recorded. So we lost at least a half a ton, which is pretty good for a first effort. Specifically, 78% of the participants that finished the program said that they did lose weight. 29%, or almost 30% of the people that completed the 3-month course were women, and 30% were men. The average pounds lost by a woman was 6.5, and the average pounds lost by a man was 11.3. So that is very encouraging and very exciting. We had many stories of people that didn't know they were diabetic but found out because of the program, many people that didn't know they were hypertensive, many people, including myself, that no longer have to take hypertension medication because of their weight loss during the program. So thank you very much, one and all. Second thing to let you know about is the Pepsi Refresh grants that are going to be able to start voting on July 1st. The grants writers from the City of Brownsville are encouraging us to log on to the Pepsi Refresh site and register to vote. You can, starting July 1st, if you register, vote 10 times each day for a project that Brownsville has submitted. So it's very important that we can get online and vote for Brownsville, and that's really exciting. Last, but certainly not least, is with respect to the Brownsville Farmers Market. We received notice last weekend that the United States-Mexico Border Health Commission has recognized the Brownsville Farmers Market as a model of excellence in childhood obesity. That is only one of 2 model awards that they released or awarded this year, the second being for a tuberculosis project in children. So we're very proud of that. In large part, that comes because of the recognition of the collaborative work between the city and the School of Public Health and many other entities that makes the market what it is today. So that's very exciting news, and we'll be on the map for that. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. An announcement, Ben Steele Baton Death March Survivor and POW. There's something being hosted at the Brownsville Museum of Fine Art reception, May 31st, Memorial Day, following the silent march at Veterans Park. Mr. Steele has become a main character in the recent New York Times bestseller, Tears in the Darkness, the Baton Death March and its aftermath. Another Baton Death March survivor was Brownsville native colonial Hosea W. Worthington. A collection of his poetry and letters home was compiled into a book, Hell and Beyond. Copies of both books will be available. Refreshments provided by the Filipino American Association, located at 660 East Wrinkle Street, parking off 7th Street. Call for more information, 542-0951. For those who are interested. Okay, proclamations, Community
Actually, Mayor, I
Learning
need my
Center.
report.
Pardon me?
My
Commissioner
report.
Camayo.
I'm sorry.
That's all right. I'll be brief. Last week, we had a downtown workshop that was held by the planning department, specifically Ricardo Gonzalez, at the ITEC. We had about 100, 130 people come and have a dialogue session with city and staff and other people from around the community about revitalization efforts in downtown. I want to thank them for all their hard work to put it together. I want to thank all the residents and the community folks and business owners and prospective business owners that came and participated. It seems everybody's kind of championing around the cause of revitalization for downtown, and so I appreciate their efforts. I also appreciate the commission's efforts to look at some special projects that will be coming to us in the near future. So again, I want to thank Planning Department and Ricardo Gonzalez for all the hard work, as well as students, architectural students from the university, and other folks who have really helped the city and downtown business owners.
Thank you.
I want to, no, thank you. I want to also discuss, over the past week or so, we've had some businesses in downtown, too, in fact, that had burned down. A lot of people asked a lot of questions as to why this came about and how this happened and what are we doing. All I can say is that it's obviously unfortunate to see a building in downtown or anywhere burned to the ground. But please know that the city, through building and code enforcement, will be working with each of the business owners in downtown to ensure that COs are properly displayed, but not only that, but the buildings are kept up to the manner in which they're supposed to be. I think it allows us a time to kind of reflect and at the same time be proactive in terms of ensuring that these buildings are being kept up to code and ensure that people aren't doing things that they're not supposed to or they may not be aware of. So we will work with our downtown business owners to ensure the safety of all the residents and people that love shopping downtown, as we want to make downtown a little bit more vibrant. As we reported last City Commission meeting, the West Elizabeth is open after months of work and reconstruction. I can't stress enough how thankful I am, one, to the federal government for providing the resources to help us reconstruct West Elizabeth Street, but also the crews and all the people that were involved and making that work happen, engineering and all the other staff. It's a blessing to the District 4, but also to anyone who has to travel in that area and that part of town. So I want to thank staff for their efforts and their hard work to making this project a reality. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Commissioner. Proclamations, Community Learning Center at Cunningham Manor. Is somebody here to receive it?
Anybody here from Cunningham Manor?
Anybody here from Cunningham Manor? And then let's go to the next one. Brownsville Fire and Police Departments. Who's here to receive that? We got police, I know, and we got fire, so somebody's got to step up.
Mayor, if I may add, we, Commissioner Longoria and I, we asked that this be presented to Fire and PD for the hard work and the dedication that they've given to the recent fires in downtown. Being back to back, being in the middle of the night, our crews, our guys and our women, men and women, have been working diligently to, one, stop the fire so they didn't spread, but two, to make sure that people are a little bit more vigilant and obviously there's more protection in the area. So we wanted to thank the firefighters, our EMS, and Brownsville police officers for responding quickly and doing the jobs doing the great work that they do. So we wanted to take this time to recognize them.
The proclamation, Fire Chief and Police Chief, if you come forward.
A proclamation, the City Commission of Brownsville, Texas, commending the Brownsville Fire Department and the Brownsville Police Department for their work during the recent emergencies. Whereas on May 7, 2010, at approximately 1:27 a.m., the Brownsville Fire Department received a report of a building on fire in a ropa usada located at 802 East Washington Street. And whereas during the 5 hours it took to control the blaze, 13 units and 25 firefighters from the Brownsville Fire Department responded and expended some 250,000 gallons of water in combating the fire. And whereas on May 9th, 2010, at approximately 2:10 a.m., another fire was reported at the Hotel Economico, 708 East Elizabeth Street. And whereas during approximately 16 hours it took to control the blaze, 13 units and another 35 firefighters responded and expended another 250,000 gallons of water in battling the fire. Whereas throughout both fires, the Brownsville Police Department was on hand controlling traffic, maintaining order, and keeping the peace while the emergencies were unfolding, working as a team alongside their counterparts in the fire department. Now, therefore, we, the members of the City Commission of the City of Brownsville, Texas, by virtue of the authority vested by the Charter of said city, and on behalf of all our citizens, do hereby commend the Brownsville Fire Department and the Brownsville Police Department for their stellar work in protecting the life and the property in our city. Done on this the 18th day of May, signed by our Mayor, Pat M. Umada Jr., and the rest of the City Commission.
Honorable Mayor, Commissioners, we thank you very much for honoring both our departments for the efforts that we did on these two fires. I was present in both of them, and I can tell you that everybody tried their best to be able to control these fires, and we thank you again for this.
It's Commissioner Atkinson's. You want me to read it? You want to read it?
I'd like to read this one. I'm very proud of these two ladies. First of all, Alma Cardenas, I've known you for a long time, and I personally congratulate you for myself and as part of the commission. But let me read this proclamation. It's a proclamation of the City Commission of Brownsville, Texas, congratulating Alma Cardenas Rubio, one of the best in Texas, whereas Alma Cardenas Rubio is a product of local schools, graduate from Gladys Porter High School, and earning a BA in liberal arts and an MA in educational leadership from the University of Texas at Brownsville. And whereas Alma Cardenas Rubio began her teaching career at Gladys Porter High School in 1994, and in 2000 was promoted to assistant principal of Central Middle School, and in 2003 was elevated to principal of Bestedo Middle School. And whereas in her leadership role, Bestedo Middle School achieved the coveted Texas Educational Agency's Recognized School Award and granted the Accelerated Schools and NASA Explorer School recognition. And whereas Alma Cardenas Rubio is a member of the National Association of Middle School Principals, Texas Principal Association, and Association of Brownsville Educators, and finds time to teach Sunday school at the Brownsville Church of Christ. And whereas in May of 2010, Alma Cardenas Rubio was one of two Brownsville Independent School District principals recognized as the best at what they do by the H-E-B Grocery Company, and received a $10,000 award for herself and a $25,000 award for her school, presented by Charles Butt at an awards banquet in Houston. And whereas her husband, Eduardo Rubio, and her two sons, Manuel and Lazario Rubio, are extremely proud of their wife and mother on the reception of this prestigious award. Now, therefore, we, the members of the City Commission of the City of Brownsville, Texas, by virtue of the authority vested by the Charter and said city, and on behalf of all our citizens, do hereby recognize and congratulate Alma Cardenas Rubio on her recognition as one of the most outstanding secondary school principals in Texas. And we further wish her great success as she pursues her career in education. Done on this day, the 18th of May, 2010, signed by our mayor, Pat Omada, and the rest of the City Commission. Would you like to come say something? Oh, let me take it.
First, I'd like to include my 3 daughters, because if we don't mention their names, they're going to get upset. Katie, Sally, and Brittany. I want to say thank you to my family, my husband, and my 2 sons. But first of all, I just want to say that no one award is possible without the community. So many times this commission has come to my campus to do presentations, to do principal of the day, to just do visitations, to make presentations, contributions. The success of one person is always contributed to the people that they surround. And I'm so blessed to be here at Bastedo Middle School. I've been here since I was in 4th grade. I went to Eggley, Oliveira, Porter, and it is such an honor today to be in this courtroom. 20 years ago, my father did federal cases here, and I could never walk in because they'd get upset at you. Today, I'm in the podium receiving this award. So it's an amazing journey. Ms. Gowan actually delivered 2 of my babies. Mr. Omada, I've known him without him knowing that he knows me, and Mr. Camarillo has served 2 times principal of the day, and Mr. Atkinson, I've known his sister who taught me leadership. See, the world goes around and around. You need a whole community to be successful, and today it's proven. Thank you.
Sherry Stout, I'm sorry.
Again, proclamation, and I'm going to read it. And before I start, I want to say to Sarah, you know I love you. I know I've known her for a long time. She's a great friend, and she's a motivator. And you see her with kids, you know why she deserves this award. And I'm gonna start off by the proclamation of the City Commission of Brownsville, Texas, congratulating Sherry Stout, one of the best in Texas. Whereas Sherry Stout in 1986 received her BA in elementary education from Graceland College, and in 1998 earned her MA in educational administration from the University of Texas at Brownsville. And whereas Sherry Stout began her teaching career in 1996 with the Los Fresnos Consolidated Independent School District as a 3rd and 4th grade teacher, and in 2001 was named assistant principal at Laurales Elementary in Los Fresnos, moving up in 2003 to principal at Lopez Riggins Elementary, also in Los Fresnos. And whereas in 2006, Sherry Stout was named elementary curriculum director for the Los Fresnos CISD, and that fall was named principal at Benavides Elementary School in Brownsville Independent School District, a position she holds to this day. And whereas Sherry Stout include among her educational experience many development and educational credits, including service as a principal mentor, teacher mentor, student intervention, teacher staff development, and her professional development resume includes that of a Harvard University Summer Leadership Academy intern and Ruby Payne English Language Learner Strategies. And whereas Sherry Stout was also honored with the State Exemplary Award for Benavides Elementary and at the Los Fresnos School District, Teacher of the Year, and at Los Fresnos Elementary Administrator of the Year, among many others. And whereas in May of 2010, Sherry Stout was one of 2 BISD principals recognized as the best at what they do by the HEB Grocery Company and received a $10,000 award, which she's going to take me to Vegas with, for herself, and a $25,000 award for her school presented by the Charles Butt at an awards banquet in Houston, Texas. Now, therefore, we, the members of the City Commission of the City of Brownsville, Texas, by virtue of the authority vested by the charter of said city, and on behalf of all citizens, do hereby recognize and congratulate Sherry Stout on the recognition as one of the most outstanding elementary school principals in Texas, and we further wish her great success as she pursues her career in education. Done on this day, the 18th day of May, 2010. Signed by our Mayor, Pat Omada, and the rest of the City Commission.
I also want to reiterate what Ms. Cardenas says. It does take a community, and it's an honor to serve this community as the principal of Benavides. The Benavides family, I thank them for allowing me to represent them at their campus. It continues to humble me because I love going to work every single day, and it is a great honor to serve the community in this capacity. And thank you all so very much for taking the time to honor us. And Alma, it's been a pleasure to celebrate this with this. We're just very proud to represent Brownsville and, you know, the educational field. And thank you very much for taking the time to recognize us. Thank you.
A proclamation of the City Commission of Brownsville, Texas, declaring May 23rd through the 29th, 2010 to be Hurricane Preparedness Week in our city. Whereas Texas hurricane season officially begins June 1 and ends November the 30th, and whereas the 624-mile Texas Gulf coastline, our area in particular, and the areas of Texas, hundreds of miles of islands, area vulnerable to the devastating effects of a hurricane or tropical storm. And whereas both public and private entities should develop emergency responses and recovery plans in accordance with local jurisdictions and local emergency management offices. And whereas the National Weather Service and the Governor's Division of Emergency Management are designating the week of May 23 through the 29th, 2010 as Hurricane Preparedness Week in Texas and in Brownsville. And whereas the National Weather Service, the Governor's Division of Emergency Preparedness, and the leaders of Brownsville strongly suggest that all residents and visitors to this area be made aware of the potential danger of these tropical storms. Now, therefore, we, the members of the City Commission of the City of Brownsville, Texas, by virtue of the authority vested by the Charter of said city, and on behalf of all our citizens, do here proclaim May 23rd through the 29th, 2010, to be Hurricane Preparedness Week in our city, and further urge all our citizens to participate in hurricane preparedness activities and to pay close attention and watch warning instructions. Done this the 18th day of May, 2010, signed by the Mayor, Pat Humada, and the rest of the City Commission.
Honorable Mayor, Commissioners, I tell people all the time that one of the trade-offs that we have to living down here in tropical paradise is that we get the occasional hurricane or tropical storm. Your emergency management staff in the city works hard year-round to prepare the city for any natural disaster or act of terrorism. And of course, hurricanes is one of the things that's predominantly on our list throughout the year. Your emergency management staff, Mr. Sigfredo Cantu, who's our emergency management administrator, Odi Liao, who is our emergency planner, myself as your emergency management coordinator, and of course Mayor Pat Humada as our emergency management director for the city, coordinate throughout the year to make sure that we're doing as much as we can to prepare our citizens and our city itself. Quickly, this year we had a visit just a couple of weeks ago by the National Weather Service Hurricane Hunter aircraft, which came here again. It's a rare visit. It's a rare event when the plane comes to the same city within 4 years, and we understand from good sources that they really enjoy coming to Brownsville because of the turnout that they get from the community. We had well over 1,000 people go out during a very short period of time to visit that airplane. We got, for the first time, coloring books for children here in the Brownsville area related to emergency preparedness for kids. We are currently undergoing a website redesign. Right now this week in the city of McAllen, we've got the Texas Hurricane Conference going on. Mr. Cantu, in fact, hurriedly but not speeding, got back here to Brownsville in time for the meeting because he was up there in McAllen at the opening session for that. We've got several different departments that have folks at the conference representing your city. Next week, in terms of the public, we have a big event next week during Hurricane Preparedness Week. We've got the Brownsville Hurricane Fair, which is going to be on Thursday, May the 27th at the Brownsville Public Library on Central Boulevard. That event will go from 4 to 8 p.m. Aside from emergency vehicles and presentations for residents and door prizes, we've even got free food for the first 500 people to show up. So we would really encourage local residents to come by. Upcoming events, different events that go on throughout the year. Again, this year, Mayor Amada is going to be hosting a meeting with local churches and trucking companies to work with them to prepare certain aspects of our plan. And we're also finalizing an emergency preparedness booklet to go out to residents of Brownsville. So it's been a busy year. We're working hard to make sure that some of these things take place. And thank you very much for your support. We encourage Brownsville residents to make sure that they're prepared and then enjoy their summer here in Brownsville, Texas. Thank you. Yes, Mayor. In fact, we just received word, sadly, just a few days ago that Jack Colley, who is the State Director of Emergency Management, passed away very unexpectedly. Chief Colley directed Texas Emergency Management since 2002, oversaw the shuttle disaster, Hurricanes Katrina, Ike, Rita, Dolly, and numerous, literally thousands of disasters during his service to the city, or to the state of Texas, as well as to the city of Brownsville. He was a strong advocate of the city and our emergency preparedness planning here. We've lost a great Texan this week. Are confident as well that Governor Perry will be appointing a replacement very soon that's worthy of leading the state through the disasters that we have to come. But our prayers and thoughts are with the Colley family and emergency management throughout Texas this week. Thank you, Mayor.
Commissioner Gallen, does she want to read it? This is for Commissioner Gallen. Oh, I'm sorry. Commissioner Troyano. Yes.
Thank you all for coming on behalf of Elder Abuse Prevention Month. And I'd like to start with the proclamation, a proclamation on the City Commission of Brownsville, Texas, declaring May 2010 to be Elder Abuse Prevention Month in our city. Whereas people who are elderly or have disabilities have contributed to the general welfare of Brownsville by helping to preserve customs, convictions, traditions of many people of all backgrounds, and whereas the residents are vital and integral members of our society and their wisdom and experience have enriched our lives, and whereas abuse of the elderly and people with disabilities in domestic and institutional settings is a widespread problem affecting hundreds of thousands of people across the country, and whereas in 2009 there were 89,489 reports of elderly and disabled persons abuse in Texas, of which 50,936 were confirmed, and whereas elder abuse is grossly underreported because the elderly who are being abused find it difficult to tell anyone and are usually ashamed and sometimes afraid, whereas elder abuse happens to men and women of all income levels, all cultural and ethnic groups, whether they are in good health or incapacitated in some way, in poor neighborhoods and in suburbia, and whereas many of the cases investigated by Adult Protective Services in Texas involve self-neglect, and it is our duty as citizens to reach out to people in need. Now, therefore, we, the members of the City Commission of the City of Brownsville, Texas, by virtue of the authority vested by the charter of said city, and on behalf of all of our citizens, do hereby proclaim May 2010 to be Elder Abuse Prevention Month in our city, and further urge all our citizens to help reduce abuse and neglect of all people who are elderly or have disabilities. Done this the 18th day of May 2010, signed Pat M. Almada Jr., Mayor, and the City Commission.
Thank you very much, Mayor and Commissioners. My name is Rosie Cavazos, and I am one of the citizens from the community. We formed a year ago Años de Oro, and it's a support group for adult protective services. We had not had one in Cameron County. In Nueces County, they've had one for 15, 18 years. Hidalgo County has had one for 15 years. And Adult Protective Services approached me, and we have formed here in Cameron County, in Brownsville, an Adult Protective Services Support Group. And what we are is to support Adult Protective Services on any of the needs of the elderly. And without Adult Protective Services, we would not be able to sleep at night. I would like each one of the Adult Protective Services people here to introduce themselves, because when anybody from the community calls them, they're there 24/7. And abuse of the elderly, when I was telling them out here that we were here representing abuse of the elderly, he thought I was joking, and it's not a joke, really. There's a lot of abuse of the elderly. Please report it, because it could be one of our own loved ones.
Firstly, I would like to thank the mayor, the commissioners, the city of Brownsville, all the resources that assist us with our investigations. When we go out there, without them, we will not be able to do our job. Firstly, I would like to introduce our investigators, Ms. Sandra Martinez, say hi, Ms. Karina Botello, Ms. Lupita Ramos. One of our workers is on leave, Elise Flores, myself, Martina Rendon, and our supervisor that was not able to make it today, Ms. Ana Perez. Thank you very much for all your assistance, and thank you. Thank you.
Commissioner, how you doing?
Okay, this is a proclamation of the City Commission of Brownsville declaring May the 16th to the 22nd, 2010 to be Building Safety Week and May 2010 to be Building Safety Month in our city. Whereas our city's continuing efforts to address the critical issues of safety, energy efficiency, and sustainability in the built environment that affects our citizens both in the everyday life and in times of natural disaster give us confidence that our structures are safe and sound. And whereas our confidence is achieved through the devotion of vigilant guardians, building safety and fire prevention officials, architects, engineers, builders, laborers, and others in the construction industry who work year-round to ensure the safe construction of buildings. And whereas Building Safety Month is sponsored by the International Code Council and International Code Council Foundation to remind the public about the critical role of communities' largely unknown guardians of public safety, our local code officials, who assure us of safe, efficient, and livable buildings. And whereas Building Safety Month commemorating a 30-year legacy of leadership, the theme for Building Safety Month 2010 encourages all Americans to raise awareness of the importance of building safety, green and sustainable buildings, pool, spa, and hot tub safety, and new technologies in the construction industry. And whereas each year in observance of Building Safety Month, Americans are asked to consider projects to improve building safety and sustainability at home and in the community, and to acknowledge the essential service provided to all of us by local and state building departments and federal agencies in protecting lives and property. Now, therefore, we, the members of the City Commission of the City of Brownsville, Texas, by virtue of the authority vested by this charter of said city, and on behalf of all of our citizens, do hereby declare May the 16th to the 22nd, 2010, to be Building Safety Week, and May 2010 to be Building Safety Month in our city and further encourage all our citizens to join with this community in participation of all related activities. Done this the 18th day of May 2010, the Mayor and the City Commission.
Good evening. As we celebrate the 30th anniversary of National Building Safety Month, we are reminded of every present need for a public safety campaign. In 1980, a series of tragedies triggered the creation of National Building Safety Week to raise awareness of the building safety and fire prevention codes. This campaign is not only intended to raise awareness about the critical role of designing and building safer structures, but more importantly, to save countless lives in doing so. Under the guidance and direction of the International Code Council, as we, as public servants, are able to share vital life-saving information with the citizens of Brownsville to build stronger and safer homes, buildings, schools, and the places of worship. However, this is a job that no one department can accomplish on its own. It takes a diligent collective efforts of departments such as fire, health, police, engineering, traffic, public works, planning and zoning, and of course, building inspections to educate and inform the public of ideas and means of keeping their homes a building safe. I would like to take this opportunity to recognize these departments and to thank them for their hard work and cooperation in helping to keep the citizens of Brownsville safe. Thank you very much.
Bring it in a display real quick, Len. No problem. Before I read the proclamation, as I mentioned during my commissioner's report regarding the downtown revitalization project, these were the students that were present and that have made this amazing design as part of the architectural program at the university. And I was thankful for Mr. Ramiro Gonzalez for asking us to recognize them for the hard work that they did. They've worked very, very close with not only their instructors, but with Ben and Ramiro to do this and to give people a visual effect of downtown and how much of an impact it'll be by doing some things a little bit differently. So students, I want to thank you all very, very much for your talent, your skills, and the time that you all put in class to do this and to help all of Brownsville. Because believe it or not, your efforts and your work have done just that. And so we want to recognize you. And again, very, very proud of you and very, very proud of the instructors for teaching you. And I'm so glad that we have you here in our chambers. A proclamation of the City Commission of Brownsville, Texas, recognizing UTB-TSC Architecture Program Team for assistance to the City of Brownsville. Whereas during the spring 2010 semester, the University of Texas at Brownsville, Texas Alamos College, UTB-TSC Architectural Program Team assisted the City of Brownsville with a downtown revitalization project. And whereas entities participating in the downtown revitalization project include the City of Brownsville Planning and Community Development, City of Brownsville Heritage, United Brownsville, and the University of Texas at Brownsville College Architectural Program. Whereas the architectural students displayed their architectural model at the downtown area of the City of Brownsville at the Downtown Revitalization Workshop held on Tuesday, May the 11th, 2010. Whereas representing UTB-TSC were Jorge Avila, John Barajas, Isel Fernandez, Shahaida Garcia, Beatriz Juarez, Gerardo Martinez, Arturo Rivera, Guillermo Rodriguez, and Elias Salivar, guided by Assistant Professor Murad Abusalam and Assistant Technical Instructor Eric Darbo Diaz. Now therefore we, the members of the City Commission of the City of Brownsville, Texas, by virtue of the authority vested by the Chamber of said city, and on behalf of all our citizens, do hereby recognize and congratulate the UTB-TSC Architectural Program for the assistance to the City of Brownsville with the Downtown Revitalization Project, and further wish the team and its students great success in future endeavors. Done on this 18th day of May, signed by the Mayor and the rest of the City Commission. Congratulations, guys.
Well, thank you, Commissioners. Thank you, students. The students really worked hard creating this project. Like I don't know if it was said earlier or if you know, but this is a brand new program at the University of Texas Brownsville, and these students are going to graduate next year, and they're going to move on to bigger and better things, hopefully. And the next series of students are going to come in and help create a larger model, continue this model for the future of Brownsville. Thank you. I believe John Barajas has a few words.
City Councilman, Mayor, and on behalf of the students at the University of Texas Brownsville Architecture Program, we would like to thank y'all for acknowledging our efforts. It was very tedious and it was a long, extensive process that we took, but hopefully with this seed that we have planted for y'all as well, we take the next step and hopefully initiating the advancement and the beautification of the city, the downtown of Brownsville, and take the next step in having a more beautiful Brownsville. Thank you.
You see, there are a lot of good things happening in Brownsville. It's not all negative. Okay, thank you very much. We're going to go now on to our agenda.
We're going to presentations.
Presentation, Environmental Advisory Committee report. Art Rodriguez, our Health Department Director.
Honorable Mayor, Commissioners, tonight I want to do a short and brief presentation of basically an update on the Advisory Committee actions. And while I'm speaking, there will be a slideshow going on of the activities that occurred on Earth Day. Basically, Earth Day occurred on April 22nd, and or it was during that week, but on April 22nd, we had a dry run, as you may call it. Basically, we reached out to the local communities, and on that day, they had an opportunity to run Brownsville as it would with no plastic bags. It was a day where we, as a committee, felt we wanted to see what both the citizens and the business community would face if we were to go live with this ordinance today. And the feedback that many of you heard and we heard was positive, not only positive, but overwhelmingly positive. Such comments, and I'm paraphrasing, as what took you so long? Why hadn't this occurred sooner? And basically, we were surprised by the positive response. The committee continues to work with local businesses, and presently our goal at this point is to reach out to any business out there who has not involved themselves in this committee. If they have any concerns or issue about the day that this ordinance takes effect, we want to be able to sit with them and explain to them the specifics of the ordinance. the local retailers so far that have participated have been very positive, and while many come in not knowing what the ordinance says or what impacts the ordinance will have on them, once they become familiar with the ordinance, their reaction has been, we really think it's a good idea. What else can we do to help out with this ordinance? We would like to have another dry run day. We have not cemented a date yet. We're working with a committee. We're thinking somewhere along Memorial Day or 4th of July, but that is still up in the air. At these events, we passed out bags. The 4B committed some bags. We've been using reusable bags for different events, various city-sponsored events, and we're trying to basically flood the market with reusable bags. Our retailers are doing the same. The prices on reusable bags has been dropping steadily, and we have had other communities kind of look at us as a model of this ordinance. Much work remains to be done still. One of the issues out there is the exemptions, if there will be any, and if so, how we would get around it. Would there be a green fee that would be assessed for continuance of plastic bags for a period of time after it becomes active in 2011? These are questions that as a committee we continue to face every week, and we're going to try and answer. There's also possibly or surely a future ordinance amendment that will come before you. We do not want to rush that amendment yet until we feel we have a good hold on what the issues are out there. We want to do this a one-time amendment and basically be ready for 2011. The fee, going back to the fee that I mentioned, we're hoping that fee will be used exclusively for projects such as Trash Bash or Cash for Trash, kind of like the 10 years ago when we used to have kind of events like that. But the money would come directly generated by those who want to continue using plastic bags thereafter. And this is something for a very short period of time in 2011, just to allow for that transition phase. If you have any questions, I will be happy to answer any questions. This was just meant to be a short brief.
First of all, I want to thank you, Art, for putting it together. I participated also, and I think some other commissioners participated. Going from plastic bags to 2011 to eliminating them, I know it's going to be a big change for a lot of people, the way they do their shopping. But, you know, if they use their heads, they can adjust very easily. I went and bought a laundry basket right after I participated in this banning the plastic bag day. If you get a laundry basket and put it in your shopping cart and put all the heavy stuff there, that eliminates the use of plastic bags. So there's ways to get around using plastic bags, or buying those biodegradable bags, disposable bags that are, that don't harm the environment. They're very inexpensive. Or the morralitos that our parents use or our grandparents use. You can buy those morralitos, which are bigger, and they're more durable. But I think, the community was very positive. Everybody I talked to at H-E-B and Walmart seemed to like the idea and accept the new ordinance. And I think it's going to be good for Brownsville. And I think we're the model for the rest of the state to follow. And I think that says something about Brownsville. I'm very proud that I introduced the ordinance. It took 2 years to pass it with the help of the commission, the citizens. A lot of people worked very hard on it. And I think it's going to be something very good and positive for the city.
I'd like to add, and I didn't have as part of my presentation, but a lot of retailers have actually gone back to the drawing board and designed their own reusable bags. The shoebox industry, for example, out of the mall has actually started to use shoelaces instead of plastic bags to carry your bag. Some of them have adopted the old 12-pack punch hole system of carrying certain boxes. We've got Home Depot that actually has a bag that fits like a liner around the shopping cart, and I believe H-E-B is actually looking at some other alternatives for bags that are out there. So I think this ordinance has catalyzed a big movement to rethink the way we were doing things in the past.
And it's gonna be nice to see a city without the plastic bags laying around the street everywhere or the expressway.
Well, many times when we're asked about this, I refer back to 2009, I believe it was, when the expressway was littered with plastic bags. And then the example again of what occurred during Hurricane Dolly and how we were able to basically clean out a lot. Public Works did a great job cleaning out, but a lot of what they removed was debris and plastic bags from our sewage.
Yeah, I think a large
our
part of
stormwater.
good recognition should be given to Rose Timmer. She worked very hard to get this ordinance passed with her committee and all that.
And we
everybody
continue to have healthy communities, many retailers, and if I want to end this right now by saying is, we want to encourage other retailers who have not participated to make contact with us at the health department and get informed, and we'll be happy to work with them and answer any questions that they may have.
Thank you, Art.
Thank you.
Okay, consent agenda items, A through B.
Move to approve.
Motion to approve, second, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Item 6,
Item 6, consideration and action to appoint one member to the Brownsville Citizens Advisory Committee.
I got Raul Garcia, but it's subject to him filling out the application, if that's okay. We got a second, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. He'll fill out the application this week. Thank you. Item 7, public hearing.
Item 7, public hearing and action on first reading of ordinance number 2010-1202-G to amend ordinance number 2009-1202-F, amending Chapter 42, Article 3, Section 42.101, rates for city medical emergency services by increasing the basic life support non-emergency rate to $350.
Honorable Mayor, Commissioners, about 7 months ago, we increased most of it. We've come to learn Medicare has increased their basic life support non-emergency, so we're back asking you to raise it to $350, so the city won't lose out on any monies that they can get from Medicare.
Okay, this is a public hearing. Anybody want to say anything on this matter? Okay, can I have a motion to close the public hearing?
Second.
Motion to close, and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. This is an action item.
Move to approve.
We have a motion to approve, second by Commissioner Zamora. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Item 8.
Thank you.
Item 8, public hearing and action on first reading of ordinance number 2010-235.59 to amend Chapter 348 zoning of the City of Brownsville zoning code by amending Article 4 overlay districts and amending Section 348-962 intent and adding Section 342-1100 0-100 residential office overlay district.
Honorable Mayor and City Commissioners, this is the area of, for this application of the 0-100 residential overlay district. But in the ordinance itself, it calls for specific criteria for the residential overlay district. It includes that it lists business types, which will be limited to professional offices. It describes the building and building construction, and it goes through the, should only be one building, excluding accessory uses. Building construction should not be done during the evening or nighttime hours, or holidays. Noise levels shall be maintained as per applicable residential requirements. Buildings should be of single story, of brick, stucco, stone. The property should also contain privacy fencing. It describes about site entrances and parking, landscaping, lighting, and signage, and other requirements. So the area here is the area identified as the 0-100. It was passed unanimously by the Planning and Zoning Commission for your approval.
This is a public hearing. Anybody want to comment on this matter? If not, could I have a motion to close?
So moved.
Motion to close by Commissioner Triani, second by Commissioner Camarillo. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. This is an action item.
Move to approve.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Camarillo, second by Commissioner Triani. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Item 9.
Item 9, public hearing and action on first reading of ordinance number 235-2010-007 to rezone from dwelling G to general retail G for Lot 18, Block 9 of East Brownsville Addition, located at 1704 Coolidge Street.
Honorable Mayor and City Commissioners, this is a proposed mechanic shop on Southmost Road. The properties are shaded in red. It was unanimously approved by the Plan and Zoning Commission.
Okay, this is a public hearing. Anybody want to comment on this matter? If not, can I have a motion to close?
So moved.
A motion by Commissioner Camarillo. Can I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Zamora. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. This is an action item.
Move to approve.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Zamora,
Second.
second by Commissioner Camarillo. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed,
Aye.
motion carries. Next item.
Item 10, public hearing and action on first reading of ordinance number 235-2010-008 to rezone from dwelling G to general retail G, 3.75 acres out of Sugar Mill Spur, CCDR Volume 1266, in Share 22, located at 302 Lauren Alley Drive. And item 11, public hearing and action on first reading of ordinance number 235-2010-008S to allow light commercial specific use in a general retail out of the Sugar Mill Spur in Share 22, located at 302 Lauren Alley Drive.
Honorable Mayor and City Commissioners, this is a proposed mini storage business. The Plan and Zoning Commission will unanimously approve this application to you. And have the map.
Okay, this is a public hearing. Go ahead.
Ben, in that area, there's old folks' homes, there's adult daycares, there's doctor's offices. Is that where you want to put a
This is a very narrow strip of land that's landlocked. And they're going through an entrance of an existing office subdivision.
The entrance of Lower Lee?
Yes,
It's right on the expressway.
yes. And it's a little strip of land that cannot be utilized for anything else. They're gonna have to go, their entrance will be through the offices subdivision that's there.
Who's the owner of that?
John Ortiz?
John Ortiz.
So we're changing the ordinance so we can so he's allowed to put that there?
Yes, it's a specific use. The first case is from dwelling, the first case is from dwelling to commercial, and then you have a specific use on the second one to allow the mini storage on the third commercial.
Where exactly by is it? Is it by those offices right there?
Yes, yeah, there's some medical
Toward
offices.
the front of it, toward the back of it?
Right there, you see. So the only way of getting into that piece of property is through that subdivision. So it's really a little strip of land that was left out of all the planning processes. That has, I mean, this is the best use. I mean, you can have offices, you can have residential, because it's really,
Okay,
it's,
up there, that's there's,
they're turning it around, but, yes, it's surrounded by.
Guajardo building, which one's the Guajardo building?
The what?
The Guajardo building. And Dr. Guajardo's building right there on the,
Yeah, that's further to the expressway.
okay, this is toward the back.
Yes.
Oh.
If you could put the one with the colored map. That one, you see, that's where the property's at. The Guajardo building, the hospital, they're all along the expressway. But this is towards the very back. It's a little strip of land that was left of all the tracks available there. So there's really no other best use that we believe, other than mini storage.
It helps our tax base. Property values go up there. Okay, this is a public hearing. Anybody else want to speak on this matter? If not, can we have a
Move to
motion to
close.
We have a motion to close by Commissioner Camarillo, second by Commissioner Triani. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. This is an action item. Motion to approve by Commissioner Triani. Can I have a second?
Second, items 10 and
Second.
11.
Second by Commissioner Camarillo. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Next item.
Item 12, public hearing and action on first reading of ordinance number 235-2010-009-S to allow a light commercial specific use in a general retail for 1.382 acres of Tandy Acres subdivision located near 7783 and Tandy Road.
Honorable Mayor, City Commissioners, this would be an automatic car wash off the expressway and on Tandy. Their entrances will be on Tandy Road. Planning and Zoning Commission voted unanimously to approve this application to you.
Okay, this is a public hearing. Anybody want to comment on this?
Is this the same area that always been having problems finding a tenant because of the road and the?
No,
they used to
no.
have they wanted a daycare there, then they wanted a.
No, this is right on the expressway. Right behind the stripes, right there.
Way before the
It's
tracks.
between the hotel and
Between-
Stripes?
Yes.
We have so many car washes. How do they stay in business? Well, anyway. Okay, this is a public hearing.
Move to close.
Motion to close by Commissioner Camarillo, second by Commissioner Gowan. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Next item, action item.
Move to approve.
Second.
Commissioner Camarillo makes a motion, Commissioner Zamora seconds it. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Item 13.
Item 13, public hearing and action on first reading of ordinance number 235-2010-606-CU to allow a conditional use permit to sell on-premises alcohol for lots 8 and 9 of Block 93 of Brownsville Original Town Site located at 1203 East Adams Street.
This, Honorable Mayor, City Commissioners, this is a wet restaurant on Adams Street, right near the intersection of Adams and 12th Street.
Okay, this is a public hearing. Anybody want to make a comment? If not, can I have a motion to close?
Move to close.
Motion to close by Commissioner Camarillo. Can I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Zamora. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. This is an action item.
Move to approve.
Motion to
Second.
approve, Commissioner Zamora, second by Commissioner Camarillo. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Public comments. We have 4. Okay, y'all know the rules. Please direct your comments to the chair. No personal attacks. The first one, and you got a 3-minute time limit. Juan Mejia. The commission cannot respond. Please, Mr. Mejia, you're welcome to come up here. The commission cannot respond, so please understand that. You're welcome to talk to management if you have a problem.
Well, I'm just the mailman bringing the mail. Haven't seen no action, Lomax Road, 803. How about other states are Old Highway 77. Melissa, you can get together with people and talk to our manager, Mid Water. How can you help bring the sewer, help put the sewer there? Now, on Lomax Road, we need 2 more speed bumps. Mr. Kevler helped us with 1, but we need 2 more. Right by Mr. Naranjo's place, it's a big machine shop. And we got slow-moving cranes in and out all day long. The traffic is doing 60 miles an hour there. You're going to find a way to slow this traffic down there before somebody gets smashed there, big time. A quarter mile back, it's a neighborhood. Also needs speed bumps. 1. It's a mile, the Lomax Road's a mile-long stretch. And we haven't seen no action over there, and we got $43 million in the American Recovery Act. I'm pretty sure you can put some money over there. Oh yeah, we got something, you done something to Lomax Road. They raised our rates up on the garbage, 50 cents more. I hope you can get something done, get the sewer going, or the street lights on Lomax Road, and the split bomb, Mr. Kepler, help us with 1, but we need 2 more. And they really appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Mejia.
That's it. See you next month.
Okay. Mr. Oresti, Robert Oresti from 1220 Calle Pluton.
Roberto Ureste, 1220 Calle Pluton. Thank you, sir. First of all, let me get straight to things. Today's rains in the Galaxia subdivision didn't cause no floodings, and that's a thank you to the Public Works for working in that area. time and time over to try to keep that off, and I'm thanking them. My goodness. And another big thank you is for the GT paving for finishing that old military highway. They did a great job. I talked to the foreman. The only reason they took a little longer was because of the rains delays, and that's the reasons. The Galaxia citizens, and I've been speaking to many of them, have been having some problems with robberies and people wandering in the areas. And it would be a very good idea if we have a new project instead of the, what is called the Neighborhood Watch Program. That is not working at all. And there has to be a new project, and I might call it Ojos, Eyes, in which a poster can be given to all individual citizens that live in that area with the telephone numbers, especially the 548-7000, which I use a lot, the 911, and also there is a 546 TIPS. A lot of people I talk to don't even know the first number, the 548-7000. They can communicate with the police department and get involved helping each other. I do help with the people there all the time. Second thing is that it seems like some neighbors in the Galaxy subdivision work very hard to keep their properties extremely clean. They're very proud of their properties. And there should be some sort of an award for that subdivision. And I think all subdivisions should have some small committee in which they can give out an award, a little plaque, and to be proud so other people can do that once a month. And I think that would be very nice. And another little thing is that I do try to help the people there. They do come. There was a man called Mr. Peña, and I think he's watching. He asked me to talk about La Lomita light that was broken there, and I talked to Mr. Peterson already. He already communicated that he's going to check on that right away. So I do thank Mr. Peterson for that too. And that's all I have to do. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you, Mr. Oreste. That was a positive report. We appreciate it. Alejandra Pineda. You want to write? What did you want? Oh, Mr. Mejia. Here.
Buenas tardes, honorable mayor y
Bienvenida,
comisionados. Yo soy Alejandra Pineda y vengo
Si me hace favor de hablar en el micrófono.
Soy Alejandra Pineda y vengo en representación de todas las personas que viven en el área de la calle Mackenzie. Aquellas personas que necesitamos usar la banqueta, una banqueta que trabajé muy duro en la administración del señor Treviño para sacar esa banqueta con el objetivo de que caminen los niños a la escuela Perkins y nosotros los ancianos que tenemos por recomendación médica caminar. Yo le dejé a ella la muestra para que ustedes puedan apreciar de lo que yo me quejo. Es algo que si ustedes lo ven, ustedes se van a dar cuenta que no es algo que solamente estamos por estarlos molestando a ustedes, no. Es una necesidad y un peligro para los niños caminar por la calle porque no se puede caminar por la banqueta. Es demasiado llena de ramas, llena de basura, llena de zacate. Es algo que, como digo, ¿para qué se fue tanto trabajo, tanto esfuerzo y tanto dinero para usar una banqueta para aparcar carros arriba o para tirar basura? Entonces esa es la razón que estoy preguntando a ustedes, ¿a dónde puedo acudir para esto? He hablado a diferentes instituciones y en ninguna parte he tenido la respuesta que merecemos como ciudadanos, porque si dicen Brownsville, beautiful Brownsville, tenemos que decirlo todos, no nada más unas personas y los demás no. Tenemos que todos, porque todos somos iguales. Y es por eso que yo les pido de favor que me digan, si no estoy tocando la puerta exacta, díganme a dónde voy a tocar la puerta para que se pueda limpiar el área donde nosotros caminamos y los niños que van a la escuela Perkins puedan caminar por sobre la banqueta.
Señora Piñeda, si puedo sugerir, en gran parte es la responsabilidad del propietario, no de la ciudad.
Yo sé.
Entonces,
eso yo lo entiendo.
Nosotros no podemos estar obligando a cada ciudadano que haga lo que debe de ser, ¿eh? Ellos lo deben hacer por su propia cuenta. ¿Cómo se ponen basura en la banqueta? Pues,
Pero yo no, perdone, pero yo como vecino o
Con
como
los carros.
residente no puedo mandar la orden. Tiene que haber alguien.
¿no tienen comité ahí en el barrio?
No, para esto no.
Organice un comité para que ellos enforcen de perdido una calidad de vida que es aceptable para el barrio, porque en gran parte de esa es responsabilidad de los propietarios.
Mire, imagínese ahí cómo puede uno caminar por ese lugar.
Bueno, ahí se debe multar la persona.
Pero
Nomás-
no lo
nomás de
hacen, como le
reportarlo
digo.
con el señor Rodríguez, si lo reporta con él, entonces se le da una notificación y lo obligan que lo corte. Pero si se comunica con él, él le va a ayudar, ¿ok?
Está bien.
Gracias, señora Pilla.
Muchas gracias.
Art, will you help her, please?
We know who it is, and we've cited them in the past.
Thank you. Okay, that's the end of the public comments. Then we go to,
Yeah,
We
one
have
more.
one more person.
one more.
Ms. Flores?
Who?
Tere Flores?
Tere Flores. Come on. Come on down. Hello, Tere.
Hi, Tere Flores, Brownsville. I'm here to shed some light before you guys vote on this horrendous condemnation on Arizona law. And the only reason why is because, to my astonishment, I was shocked that our Attorney General, Eric Holder, hasn't read the bill. Janet Napolitano, our head of Homeland Security, hasn't read the law. And I just want you to take into account that the border, the United States border with Mexico is 1,954 miles long. Out of those miles, less than 700 miles, they're calling it effective control, meaning I think it has a fence. That's such a small area that's being controlled. Also, Arizona has the second largest border with Mexico, and it's most of it is unsecure. The Department of Justice has, in 2008, published a report that Mexican gangs are the biggest organized crime that threatens the United States. A good chunk of that is happening in Arizona. It's happening here too. 6,000 foreign nationals are convicted felons housed in Arizona prisons at a cost of $150 million a year. That's taxpayer money that Arizona people have to pay out just to house these people. Arizona in 2009 experienced 316 kidnappings. That makes Phoenix, Arizona, one of the dangerous, if not the dangerous city here in the United States, because of the border situation, because of the illegal situation that's happening there. And the majority of these kidnappings, these people, the majority were either illegal or they were connected with the drug trade. So it's a very dangerous situation. The narcotics prosecutions in Arizona rise to 202% just in the last 16 months. And that's not even including the smugglers that were taking narcotics, that were bringing narcotics across our border under 500 pounds. Those are not even counted. And just this weekend, I'm sure you heard rumors about the massive killing that was going to happen just across the border, not even to wear black. And here are the horrendous pictures. This is what happened just in our border. These people are getting murdered. Can you imagine what the Mexican people are suffering? They're living a terrorized life. Can you imagine what Arizona is going through? They're being terrorized. They're afraid. I'm afraid. I even had an incident of a gang attacking my own mom. They were robbing her. I was very lucky that they didn't even kill my mother.
Tere, your time's up.
Okay, well, I'm just saying that if you
Tere,
support,
Tere, if I can recommend, next time, you know, I understand those issues are federal issues, they're not local issues, although they.
But you're
No, no,
condemning
wait,
Arizona.
I'm just making a suggestion. Although they're local issues, they're impacted somehow, okay? But if you make a recommendation next time, what you want us to do, that would help us, because you're citing all these federal problems that it's beyond our
but
control.
why are you condemning Arizona's right to protect themselves?
I mean, what can I
Every
do-
state
what
has
can
a
we do in
right to
Arizona?
protect themselves.
Anyway, if you want to make a recommendation, we're willing to listen
Well,
to
I
you.
don't think you should condemn it. It's none of our business. Every state has their right to protect themselves.
Thank you, Tere. Item 15,
Item 15, consideration and action to adopt resolution number 2010-32, expressing official intent to reimburse costs incurred to make improvements to the Brownsville Sports Park.
Honorable Mayor, members of the City Commission, we are requesting tonight for you to table this item. We want the 4A and the 4B agreements in place before we ask you to approve this resolution. So we'll bring this back to you at a future date.
So moved.
Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes. Next item?
Item 16, consideration and action to adopt resolution number 2010-033 to authorize the creation of an Adopt-A-Yard program in the city of Brownsville.
item 16, okay. Resolution?
Yes, I've just read it. I've
Okay.
just read the item.
Okay, so it's an action item?
Yes, sir.
Yes, I placed this on the agenda. I'm sure every single commissioner gets flooded with phone calls concerning weedy lots, overgrown yards, and I think that this would be a good program to address that. I'd like to take credit for it, but I can't do that. I did receive a phone call from a resident who just recently moved here from out of state, and the state that he was from has the same program, and he said it's very successful. So I quickly contacted United Way, the Boy Scouts program, Teen Court, and there are so many people who are interested in volunteering to participate in this program. And then I recalled that Commissioner Camarillo, under the Beautification Committee, had a senior day where they went out and helped many of our seniors in the community with the same issue. And this program is aimed at assisting the elderly and disabled. And I'm going to go ahead and pass this on to Commissioner Camarillo, who wrote the resolution and who is a member of the Beautification Committee.
Thank you, Commissioner Watt. You had the great idea, the foresight to make this a year-round activity or an ongoing activity versus, one time a year, in which what we had done. So I commend you for that because, again, we do have quite a bit of problems all over the city with weedy lots. And as we heard part of the public comments, these are some of those residents that own those properties may be elderly or disabled. And so it just makes sense to be able to gather volunteers and different organizations to come together on a weekend and provide some assistance. And I think if we can do that frequently, then we'll see these problems kind of disappear and fade away. And so I appreciate your help bringing it to our attention. BBC and the Keep Brownsville Beautiful will make sure we address it. We involve you all and the commission to help and participate as much as possible. So thank you for that.
Okay, this is an action item.
Move to approve.
We have a motion approved by Commissioner Zamora. Can I have a second? Second by Commissioner Triani. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Next item.
Item 17, consideration and action to adopt resolution number 2010-034 in support of the Valley AIDS Council and Youth Community Services.
I placed this on the agenda after having numerous discussions with residents in the community about their concern with its effect on tourism, our economy, although it is something that is transpiring in Arizona, and some people believe that we should stay out of what happens in other states and other communities. I do believe that this... Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I jumped the gun. Okay, Valley AIDS Council. Okay, we've heard their workshop. I think that they're doing a great job with what they've put together over at the Old Boys and Girls Club. And I wanted to place a resolution of support for the services that they are providing. And the services are going to grow throughout the city from my discussions from Bob Smith. So I hope that the City Commission approves this resolution in support of Valley AIDS Council and the many services they provide here.
Okay, this is an action item.
Move to approve?
Motion approved by Commissioner Camarillo, second by Commissioner Gallant. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Item 18.
Okay.
Consideration and action to adopt resolution number 2010-035, condemning recently enacted Arizona SB 1070, which permits Arizona state officials to inquire into the immigration status of any individual based on reasonable suspicion.
Okay, didn't mean to jump the gun there, but continuing on what I was saying, many people believe that we need to do something to express our discontent for this bill. I understand that there are some opinions out there that we need to stay out of what happens in other states and other communities. But I do believe this affects us and our economy. We have heard about chambers in Mexico who have boycotted businesses along the border. And as you can see, I did read it, ma'am, and I do have a copy right here that has notes and highlights if you'd like to look at it.
Please do not interrupt.
I didn't interrupt you while you were speaking.
Commissioner, go on.
So I hope that our fellow city commissioners here will support this resolution, and I'd like to pass it on to anyone else who may have some comments on it.
Okay, anybody want to say anything on this matter? Okay, this is an action item.
Mayor, I will say something. You know, I think it's really, one, I support the resolution. I think this is something that the city should voice their concern about. You know, personally, I think this is something that just, it goes back to the whole border wall issue and, you know, policy made by others, which is just, makes no sense. It's the worst thing that I think the country could actually do, but such as it is, and it's here. I think the state of Arizona, again, their leadership, or the lack of, really shows by what they did. And I'd say that to whomever, directly or indirectly. I think it's the worst thing they could do. I think it's wrong. And, you know, as we were talking earlier, I think it goes to show that there's just a lot of people that are just, they don't know what it's like to live on the border, or near a border community, and the issues that we all face, and our families, and the heritage and the culture that we all share. They don't know. And so to do something like this and enact such a law is just horrible.
Okay. This is an action item. It's a resolution. Can I have a motion?
Can I make a comment?
Certainly. Very briefly.
My name is Mr. Barrera, I'm from Brownsville. More than 100 million Mexicans may soon be empowered to collect welfare, social benefits, and free schooling paid by you and I, the taxpayers. We have no business meddling in the affairs of another state. They have the right to take care of their own. That's what we need to do, and take care of our own people. We have illegals coming in, going to our schools. Go to any school. Go to any school in Las Prietas, at Cameron Park, and you see all the illegal cars coming, not the cars, but the cars coming in that are from dropping illegal students here so they can get an education. We've had enough of that. It's none of our business, commissioners, for us to meddle into the affairs of Arizona. They have their problems. I know that it's a federal statute that should be enacted to keep those outside, but we just can't take it. The more you give these people, the more they want, and the more they're coming in. I'm against passing a resolution or whatever you call it here that you support. You're against the law that is being enacted in Arizona. Thank you.
Your point's well taken. Thank you.
Mayor, let me just say something. Mr. Barrera, you being a man, a former educator of this community, to say that illegal individuals should not go to school, whether it be primary, secondary, or post-secondary, is really something else, and I can't respect that. Every child that's here, whether they are illegal or not, has a right to education and health care. And I truly believe that. Because you know what? They're going to change how we do things. And they're going to help this community and, most importantly, the state. And so I can't believe hearing this from you, an educator, talking about the thousands of illegal children or not, I don't know, that are in schools right now that are trying to learn to better themselves, to have a better day for them and their family. It's just unfortunate.
Let the commissioner speak. Things are not as simple as they seem. When making a statement like 100 million Mexicans are going to be on welfare, well, I can assure you there isn't 100 million Mexicans, first of all, in the United States, I don't think. The other thing is that a lot of these Mexicans do contribute and don't reclaim their Social Security or their income tax when it's deducted from them. They do contribute in many other ways. So, and they keep our cost of living down. If it wasn't for the Mexicans, you'd probably be paying $10 for a tomato. You know, I mean, those are the real facts. I mean, it's okay to say a whole race should be extinguished. That's how people rationalize it when Hitler came into power. You know, yes, it is. It's the same thing here. You're profiling and you're singling out a race, okay? Just because some people feel threatened by it or they're prejudiced or for whatever reason. I think that's an injustice morally, okay? And I think it goes against all the principles of this country. I think they're using that as an excuse or a reason to support the wall, support those efforts.
Okay, that's twice I've heard the terms, these people, those people, and I take issue with that. Because these people sustain our economy, and they are our workforce. We have evil elements who are American citizens.
Hold on real quick.
Commissioner Atkinson, Commissioner
Let me
Atkinson.
say something. You mentioned Mexicans and all that, but what about all the Canadians that are coming through, taking all our, wait a minute, let me finish talking. What about all the Canadians that come through here, and they don't need to go through all the hoopla that the Mexicans need to come through. All a Canadian needs is a passport to cross through the border. And everybody knows, well, it doesn't matter. But you have Canadians that are here illegal, taking our jobs too. So, you know, you complain about the Mexican, but what about on the northern border where there's a free, well, so why aren't you, well, so those people, so what are you talking about? Those people Canadians or who are you talking about? Okay, so you don't think there's, you don't think, let me ask you, you don't think, can you stop talking for 1 second, please? Man, but let me tell you something. Did you know that drug trade's coming also from Canada? They've all known there's open borders over there. So we got a lot of drugs coming through the northern border.
Let him speak,
Let
please.
me finish. So, you know, before you judge anybody, you got to know the whole story. Where Mexicans or people from the Latin countries come, they got to go through 3 or 4 levels to get a document to come across this bridge, the U.S., where a Canadian, all he needs is a passport. And all the people from 911, they came, most of them came through the northern border. So, you know, before you say something, and they had legit passports. 911 happened with people who had legit passports. They weren't here illegally. They had legit passports and legit visas to come in.
Okay.
So, you know, we're judging people when we shouldn't.
Okay, this is an
I'm just
action
getting you
item.
to think.
This is an action item. Can I have a motion? Motion to approve by Commissioner Zamora, second by Commissioner Troyani. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
I'm going to abstain because I have not read this bill or whatever.
Item 19. Item 19.
For the relocation and replacement of runway 17 visual approach slope indicator with an FAA-provided precision approach path indicator at Brownsville South Padre Island International Airport.
Mayor, members of the commission, the purpose of this agenda item is to request the City Commission to consider and act on an agreement with the FAA that allows for an upgrade of an important piece of equipment at the airport. At the current time, the airport has what's called a VASI, Visual Approach Slope Indicator. It helps guide the pilot in his approach when he's making the landing. What we're proposing to do with the agreement of the FAA and to be paid for by the FAA is to install a PAPI in place of a VASI. PAPI allows not only for the same thing that a VASI does, but some additional things too, giving, for example, the pilot not only an up and down indication, but also a sideways indication to make sure they've got the plane, which may be landing 100 miles an hour, the plane landing in a straight line on the runway, which is obviously important for passenger safety and so forth. This is a particularly important thing because it helps us to upgrade for the benefit of airlines and pilots the systems that we use at the airport to help attract airlines and so forth and make it safe to land. The funding in this agreement that is called for allows the FAA, and it is their equipment, to install the PAPI, and the funding is actually coming from another arm of the FAA to reimburse us for this cost. I'll be happy to address any questions. Staff recommends approval.
Okay,
Second.
we have a motion approved and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Next item.
Item 20, consideration and action on a renewal of a ground lease for the Hunt Pan Am Field Base operations at Brownsville, South Padre Island International Airport.
Mayor, members of the commission, as you may recall, Hunt Pan Am Aviation is a long-term fixed base operator at the Brownsville Airport. Has been there for many, many decades, and we're one of the first FBOs that operated from there. This lease is being generated in order to help support additional investment into Hunt Pan Am Aviation by two new people who will be board members on Hunt Pan Am. That's Bob Steenbach and Bob Harper, both of whom fly from the Cameron County Airport at the present time and own a couple of 727s. They'll be key investors in Hunt Pan Am Aviation. One of the keys to making their investment possible is to give them assurance that their investment, they'll be able to recoup it by continuing the business for a period of time. That's why they've asked for the extension of their particular lease. This is a ground-only lease. We don't own the building. They own the building. We just lease the land. Represents a total of $44,823.60 per year in revenue for the airport, and it contains a CPI adjustment clause so that every 3 years, by virtue of the CPI indicator, the lease rate is adjusted upwards, typically.
Thank you.
Staff recommends approval.
Thank you. It's an action item.
Move to approve.
Motion approved by Commissioner Camarillo, second by Commissioner Atkinson. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Item 21.
Item
Thank you.
21, consideration and action on the Brownsville Community Improvement Project funding recommendations for fiscal year 2010.
Honorable Mayor, City Commission, the Brownsville Community Improvement Corporation request your approval on the projects that were recommended for funding as presented earlier in the workshop.
Okay, this is an action item.
Move to approve.
Second. We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Item 22.
Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
Item 22, consideration and action to request funding in the amount of $30,000 for the 4th Annual July Salute to Freedom fireworks display that will take place on Saturday, July 3rd, 2010.
Mayor, Commissioners, as you can see in the packet, we have a letter from the 4th of July Celebration Committee for the purchase of the fireworks display. And I do want to clarify something real quick. It'll be on July 3rd, Saturday, not the 4th. Larry Joko from the committee.
At night? I'm sure it's at night, but I mean...
The July 3rd, which would be Saturday night instead of a Sunday.
Okay, this is an action item.
Move to approve.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Item 23.
Why not a Sunday, though?
Needless to say, Mayor and Commissioners, y'all are all invited, and we hope that you will partake in the day's activities. Start about 4 o'clock, and we'll continue until we finish that evening.
I'm sorry. We chose Saturday night. We have a Bravos exhibition game, or excuse me, an actual scheduled game. There's a lot of activities at the park on Saturday night, and we feel that that's a perfect night. It'll be a major event at that park. So, and that's another thing too, a lot of the committee and different people wanted to do it on a Saturday instead of Sunday.
Sunday's family day, 1, 2, I don't think the city wants to pay that much overtime.
Right.
The other reason.
We all always do a great job, so we look forward to it.
Thank you.
Yeah, it will be a
Thank
lot of fun, hopefully. Thank you all very much.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
Thank you, Larry. Next item?
Item 23, consideration and action to authorize the execution of a memorandum of understanding between the Brownsville and Matamoros Bridge Company and the Brownsville Police Department.
Mayor, members of the City Commission, good evening. We're asking the Brownsville City Commission to approve a memorandum of understanding for the installation of 4 security cameras by the police department at the Brownsville Matamoros International Bridge, which is a privately owned bridge. B&M Bridge Company is the proper owner of that. This camera is provided with Homeland Security funding. It will allow us to place 4 cameras, 2 per toll booth, to be able to photograph license plates of vehicles and drivers that are exiting the United States or actually exiting the city into Mexico. This will allow us to help us with some of our criminal investigations, especially in the area of auto theft.
Joe Galvan retired from B&M, right? Who took his place?
I don't know, sir, if he did. I don't know. I thought that he was still there.
This is an action item?
But
Move to
if he
approve.
did, then we'll go ahead and change the MOU to reflect the proper persons. We have been working with Mr. Galvan through this.
Would approve. We have a motion by Commissioner Atkinson. Can we have a second? Second by Commissioner Triani. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Item 24.
Hold on, real quick, I forgot. Was that, you said that was a grant from who?
Homeland Security funding
What, I'll abstain from that
from
one.
2005.
I'll second it.
I'm sorry about that.
Chief,
Don't want any problems.
are these cameras going to be monitored 24/7 or is just recording and then?
They're going to be recording, and then we're able to retrieve the
Then you'll
data.
track
Yes, sir.
Stella.
when and you need to? Okay, thank
wanna
you.
abstain from-
Okay, item
He's
24.
going to abstain.
Abstain
I'm abstaining from this.
from this one? Okay.
Item 24.
Item 24, consideration and action to authorize the Brownsville Police Department to accept a selective traffic enforcement program click-it or ticket grant award in the amount of $10,000.
Mayor's, members of the City Commission, TxDOT has awarded us a $10,000 grant for step enforcement during the Memorial Day weekend, and I'm asking the commission to accept such grant so that we could initiate our efforts for the Memorial Day weekend.
We have a motion to approve, and we have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Item 25.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
Item 25, consideration and action to award a contract for pay parking construction improvements for the Brownsville South Padre Island International Airport.
Honorable Mayor, City Commission, staff recommendation is to award a contract for paid parking equipment improvements for the Brownsville South Padre Island International Airport to Herrera and Hunt of Los Fresnos, Texas, the low responsible bidder, for a total bid amount of $144,164.61. Funding is in place for these procurement, and it is recommended by the consulting engineering firm and the airport.
Okay, this is an action item.
Move to approve.
We have a motion approved by Commissioner Camarillo. Can I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Atkinson. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Item 26.
Item 26, consideration and action to award a contract for the purchase, delivery, and installation of camera surveillance system for the Brownsville Police Department.
Staff recommendation is to award a contract for purchase, delivery, and installation of camera surveillance systems for the Brownsville Police Department to American Surveillance Company of Brownsville, Texas, in the amount of $151,829.88. This procurement includes the second and third year equipment maintenance agreement, and all the hardware, software, and the training will be provided by the vendor. Subsequent years of maintenance and support will be provided on an annual basis after the third year. The completion time for the installation and configuration is 60 consecutive calendar days as per the project specifications, and funding is in place. There's just a change in the funding. I got an email from the police chief and also from the finance director. So I have a modification on the funding and it says that funding for these procurement will be coming out of Fund 28, which is forfeiture fund, and it will be for $51,829.88, and that's from account 28-310-942, and from general fund through a budget amendment that will contribute $100,000, and the funding source for the $100,000 will be coming out of the 2003 CO Fund 58.
Move to approve. We have a motion to approve. Can I have a second?
Not
Second.
general- I'm sorry.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Camarillo. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Can I have a motion to adjourn?
So move.
There's
Mr.
one
Luna,
item.
Mr. Luna,
Okay.
one quick question on the,
27.
Mayor, I
27.
have a question real quick. On the one-year warranty and then two-year equipment, is that the manufacturer's warranty, or is that something
The
that the
first year-
company's going to do?
The first year, it's included,
Right, no,
manufacturer.
it is included, but I'm saying the second-year equipment maintenance, is that from the manufacturers, or is that from the company?
That's from the company that is representing the manufacturer.
Okay.
Okay, item 27.
Item 27, consideration and action to authorize work order number 10 for landfill engineering services, master agreement for model design, permit, and construction quality assurance of city landfill gas collection system project.
Staff recommendation is to award task order number 10 for landfill engineering services master agreement for model design, permit, and construction quality assurance of the city landfill gas collection system project to SCS Engineer Environmental Consultants and Contractors of Houston, Texas, in the amount of $241,230. And this gas modeling project, or these task order will cover the services from SES Engineering on a grant that was awarded back in, if you look on your agenda, back in 2009, the city was allocated $1,659,200 for this program. So that's.
Thank you, Robert. Action item?
Move to approve. Second.
Do we have a motion and a second? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you very much. Good meeting.